Hi, object coders. Let's talk about coding classes, and we don't really have to even dive into whether we're dealing with Java, or JavaScript, Python, C++, or what have you. It's really the same kind of pattern. That's the nice thing about it. There's really two phases we should think about, and one is the object structure, and one is the behaviors, the instance methods. The object structure is what gets us going. It's the foundation, like the building the foundation on a house, obviously before windows and roof and everything else, right? Foundation. So let's do it by example. And it doesn't really matter if the class is complex, like a dynamic array, or simple, like a rectangle. It's really the same pattern. So where do we start? Well, we start with the provided information, right? What we're given. And we're given some kind of problem description. In this case, it's a very simple rectangle here, right? And we're told that the class name, it has to be that. We're told that we have to have these headers. Why are we given headers? Well, headers are what the object user, whoever's driving the project, how they're going to talk to us, right? How they're going to communicate with us. So we want to nail the headers down perfectly. And the code is more our choice. I actually want to get it right, but these have to be exact. All right, so we're also usually given some sort of design, or we come up with it if we need to. In this case here, we're given one, so let's see how we would code that. So what we're talking about object structure. We're talking about first the shell. That's a starting point right there. That compiles. So that's a good starting point. It gives us a little confidence. And then IVARs like this. And in some languages we'll declare them. In some languages like JavaScript, we might just make a comment about them. Just any way to know that we have them there. I like to put them at the top of the class because they're referenced often. And then constructors, that's really the third piece of the object structure because that's how we construct the objects, right? And we're given those, if you recall, we're given those headers. So that's our starting point. We just plop those headers in, and we work in a little bit of code right down here. And it's usually not very much code for constructors. It shouldn't be very much. And you can look through that. And the fourth piece, and the most important, is right away we can start testing. I mean, we don't really have a lot of behavior in our object, but we do have constructability. We can check to make sure that they can be constructed. So here's some information on that. And all this whole page is downloadable right here in examples in JavaScript and Java. And if you want something a little bit more complex, but same pattern, you can also look at a dynamic array here sample. And then the same thing with instance variables, the behaviors. That's the second phase, really, that we would want to look at. And again, the same kind of thing. We get something here that's required. And they tell us, somebody's telling us what we need to do, what we need to return, if we have any parameters. And then we code it in. And again, we test. Sample code provided. So I'll keep it short because it really is a short pattern there, and it's really about coding classes. And as you noticed, this is really a big driver for us, the method headers. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.